Hello, welcome to Ylands. This is episode 11.7. I'd mentioned before the point ones would be where I was doing just an individual, not with my clan. This is a base tour. We're pulling into our original base. You can see on the hillside we have a bunch of trees. This is actually my second attempt at this. First attempt, I realized my mouse was going too fast when I was rewatching it. We've got a couple of old boats there we need to get rid of. Pulling into the dock here. With the sails as wings on my boat, pulling into the dock can be a pain. We have my main dock here that I use, although I haven't assigned dock over there. This boat we started, or this base we started with, if you look at world map, you start in tropical. Regional, you start on starting Ylands. Now, each person's map is generated a little bit differently. So this is the starting one with this green flag. This is story Yland. So you would do individual storylines on those. These are mystery ones. You guys spend expedition points and they have specific game things. On an earlier episode, we visited this one and there's a whole puzzle thing with that. The blue is a local game. So these are games that only I am running. My clanmates can't get into. This is a multiplayer game, which is actually on a dedicated server. To get to these, you require exploration points. When you're running, you can have as many single player instances as you want. If you do a shared multiplayer instance other than the dedicated server here, you can only have 3 of those. And what happens is it uploads that map to the cloud. First person onto that map is running it. If they leave that island, everybody else on the island gets kicked off. But the data is uploaded to a shared cloud and you can just click right back into it, get back in. So you do not need a dedicated server. We only have the dedicated server, so if we're all at the base and somebody leaves, everybody else doesn't get kicked off. It is not required to play the game. But since you can only have 3 shared islands per person, this gives you this frees up a share. That's why we did that. So let's go back to this is the local map of your starting Ylands. You will spawn into different locations randomly and have to drive to your base. Our base is a little low to the ground, a little low to the water. So as you can see, the waves occasionally come in. It's made of 2 buildings. This one for the main base and this one. They are copies of each other, and we just tore out the center section. So you can see right here, there's the 2 doorways. That way you could just build one building and plop as many of these down together as you want. There's the individual docks. There's a couple vendors. This was clothing storage, oceanic storage, writing things, or workstations, books, toys. These workstations have spots behind them for storage related to the workstation, for foods, campfire, which you just renew with wood to start using again. This was a box we shared stuff at. We would drop things off for everybody, whoever needed something. By trying to snap them together, you can see you don't quite get them together. That's why our next base I made all at one time. These workbenches have their storage units behind them. You have stones and stuff there, wood, more stone. Back here, we had our individual quarters. Looks like Lorak needs to clean his out still. There's my old one. Minx's. So we actually had it open here and a rug in between. Minx is my daughter in real life. And then here's Mr. Tanks. So we actually boarded up the wall in between Corack and Mr. Tank's room. Here was where I would release animals. If you look at this animal pen, I have one animal I'm carrying on me right now. But we found out, like the wild panthers and stuff, if you were not logged into the game, they would attack the other clanmates or other players. So we ended up, I hollowed out that section back there of the rock and put a pin back there so they were out of the way. That was for seeds. This, before we had our base and we got on this island, we had this one little bed spot that was built in. Mr. Tank added this table and chair. Flowers here we've added. I think Mr. Tank built this overhang when we had our beds there to start with. Here's a little cave I dug out, threw a grate over. Keep my animals I wasn't carrying away from everybody. Then up here we were just throwing seeds down in groups to have the stuff to do unlock our tech tree. Roasting, you needed 3 eggs, 3 bananas, 3 raw meat to unlock that. You need those things to unlock that. Baking, you need those things. We threw a bunch of trees down together in one spot so we'd have them to build our initial wooden ships. We're still in the wooden age. This little bit was here as part of the original setup when we landed. And that is our original base. I have to remember to tell Lorak to clean out his apartment. Due to the shared limitations, I don't know if we will actually be keeping this. We may just tear it down and then share it. I'm not sure if it counts towards those shares being the starting Yland. So we will, to travel, you have to have control of your ship. We'll go regional. See, like that shows multiplayer and that shows starting Yland, so that may not count towards your shares. This doesn't count towards our shares because it's a dedicated server. Let me see, we just went into Monsoonal. Let me show you that. See how that's purple there? That is a share. And what we started doing was I put my name behind their generated name so we know I started that share. And at some point, if I need to, I'll talk to the other clan mates and we'll get rid of that share if we need to open something else up. Back to tropical. Here's our main base. You can rename the islands too, obviously, when you take them over. Hopefully it spawns me in next to the base. I said this is my second attempt at this one. My first attempt, you don't realize your mouse speeds and what you're used to. When I was rewatching it, I was twitching through it too quick. The things popping on the side, since it's dedicated, I'm listed as a mayor. My clan mates are citizens, and then there's visitors. You have player versus player disabled. Evidently Gabe is in this house right now. Let me think what else I was gonna say. So sometimes you will spawn in different areas, like here. Originally I designed the base, it was a little bit bigger. Now it's just gonna stick it out in the ocean. I found this horseshoe place and I put it in in there, like a pirate's bay that you theoretically could defend and everything. A message real quick. Let's send a message to Solomon. Telling him I'd switch over to Discord voice when I was done with this little tour. So here's our base. We put it in one big spot. I had to shrink it a couple times to get it to fit and be able to sail around. You come in, you have this corner here, which is my house. Each corner is housing, and then you have your ports. Each house has its own little dock here, which for me is tight because the way my things stick out. Let me actually go over to this blue dock. If you're in any kind of industrial setting, you may know kaizens or different things of how you label things to keep it simple and organized. This is the blue dock. We have one stripe here, which indicates first floor. Second floor we have 2 stripes. Third floor we have 3 stripes. We have primary colors and secondary colors around the corners, and then brown and white for these 2 corners. Bookie corner is brown, me and Lorak. I'm next to the blue dock, so I have brown and blue. Lorak has brown and white because he's next to the white dock. Multiple stripes. It's the housing, it doesn't really matter. Doors are marked the corners, the color of the corners. Here you have the same layout in all the houses, storage and everything. Up top you have an animal pen. For some reason is spawning in wild animals. Let's look it up at Lorax here. Maybe he didn't have a animal. He's got a bunch of crabs for some reason. So you got your animal pen. He is just spawning crabs like crazy. At least they won't attack me. There's the control for that. We put a grate on this so they wouldn't hop through. I didn't realize I'm moving my mouse too quickly again. Each corner house has a garden in front of it, and then we have community gardens on the corners. On top of that roof I have our vendors set up. On the top of the garden roof over there I have trees, but I need to take those down because that idea did not work. This corner is resources, brown. You have furniture and vehicles. On the top of the corner ones, it's a flat roof so you can do stuff with them. Here you have furniture and vehicles. The vehicles we don't really use. I don't know if future stuff, as we get farther along in the tech, if there'll be stuff we have to find. This corner is art and books. This is the purple corner, Inks's house. Here is the red dock. You have armor and weapons. So around the corner is yellow, so between red and yellow you have orange, the secondary color. So there you have Solon's house. He just logged back out. Here you have yellow dock. We have actually desert sand in here so we can grow desert plants. We have foods and miscellaneous. This corner is green. The yellow, blue, green. Green corner, yellow dock. Green corner, blue dock. Mr. Tank's house. And we're back to the corner again. The ones on the dock are for our community gardens. I think I already said that, the one in front of the houses, or the personal gardens for the house to do whatever. This room is resources. You got one brown stripe through it, the brown doors. You got stone. Try to slow down again. I realize I'm moving my mouse too quick. And then you can see furniture to your left, oceanic to your right. Go into oceanic. You got workstations in the center, resources left, gardening to the right. Now these houses were all single units I put together in the editor. So they had storage units all the way around, and then in the editor I took out the center section. That's why there's a doorway here and the corner is open. I have seashells, fish down here. Over here is gardening. That's where the trees are sticking through from above that I gotta get rid of. Didn't work out. Oceanic and food. Food's that way. Gardening, you got soils, grasses, trees, seeds. Now seeds are like, there's two groups of herb seeds, a group of fabric seeds, flowers. Now they can be used for other things, but I was trying to group them in order to keep from using too many boxes. Over here is our food section. We got cooking fire there. These little wood pieces really don't have a lot of uses for them that I've noticed, so I put the box here instead of in resources, so you'd have it for firewood if you didn't have any wood on you. You got different foods around, like up here we got melons, and then I just put a melon on each box. There you have roots. But sometimes the signs don't want to load in, and that gives you a way to see what's there. Native clothing. When you look at crafting, these boxes, or tech tree, these boxes I put in, you got primitive apparel, native clothing, elder clothing, coral clothing, simple clothes. I tried doing things like that. I don't think I have a sewed clothes either. Or no. Sometimes you have to add stuff. And then there's the groups of clothes you just find out there that don't necessarily fit in with other things. Earlier when I first tried doing this video, each room has a box to drop stuff in if you can't figure it out. There's some of this stuff in there. I got looking and realized I didn't have a box. So if you look at an item, hit details, show recipe, it shows you have to have this unlocked. This is where you build it. So I had to make a new box for sewing machine items. Over here you have weapons. It goes along the same lines. I went through the tech tree and did stuff. That's over there. And then over here you find lots of weapons. So bladed weapons, clubs, spears, staffs, tridents. Show you some staffs. We have all these. When we start running out of room, we'll start destroying some of the multiples. We have 3 spirit staffs and an ancient spirit staff, so we'll probably destroy a couple of those at some point. There is some overflow boxes built in. Art and books. We have statues, busts. We have paintings, faces, calligraphy, writing stuff, magnifying glasses up there, books. Now these books are actually chests, and then I hand placed these copies of what we've found up there. Over here I didn't write on the signs, but you have, you know, this chest will have those paintings in it. Furniture wise, I've just been throwing examples of the rugs down. You got rugs in there, sleeping pads in there, keys, padlocks. This is kind of a miscellaneous thing. There's candles over there, toys there. And then in the center, so single stripe, and then the center build blocks from have a black mark in them, just to distinguish them from the other rooms. You got Egyptian chests behind here. They hold more than the stone chest. So you got potter's wheel, that'll be clay. Dyeing stand, this will be pigments. Sewing machine, now I don't know what we'll have back there. That's optional cloth. This is travel supplies, where we were stocking up stuff. Take that out, I'll put it away later, to unlock the monsoonal region. Blacksmith forge, casting forge, so you make those bronze saws and hinges. That here you make the iron tools. Smelting, you make the different bars. So bar storage is right behind there. Kiln, make glass type stuff. I don't know what that has to do with stone, but they had put it somewhere. Diver stand. Canning rack would have leather behind it. Weaving loom has cloth and rags behind it. So that's this level. I'd put the stairs outside because if we needed lots of room inside, it would leave us free to put stuff here. Here we have, this is the animal room. So you have two stripes. You're on the second floor. You're at the blue dock end. There's the red dock end, white dock end. So it makes it easier for you to find your way back to your ship. So you have hides, but ends up, if you have a pelt or anything related to camo, we're going to put it in there. Vehicle stuff, I don't know if in-game vehicles require special items. I just had a room, I marked it for that. Armor. This section's by tech tree. And then things you can find. I went on fandom and just started writing down the different groups. This is miscellaneous. If we run out of room or we get something we have no idea where we want to put it, we got this. On the second floor, we have the open tops. Oh, this is above the garden where I'd planted trees, just to give an example of the different trees. That's what's sticking through on the bottom. That didn't work. Go ahead and close that. So I'll end up chopping those trees down and making a display section over on the land probably. Or here's our vendor section. We haven't unlocked that vendor. There's blacksmith, engineering, grocer. Whoops. Got to paint a letter. So there's my painting kit. I can hit F, go to eyedropper. There, I picked that color. Let me back up a little bit and see if it. Hit F to go to paint. Oh, I don't have enough pigments on me. I'll have to go get pigments later. Herb, the tailor, and the trapper. Then we got our third floor. Oops. Which we don't have, didn't have any plans for. I built it to give it the definition, so I stuck a third room up here and we just marked it private for now. It's the center, so it's a black room, third stripe, 3 stripes, 1, 2, 3, and this tells you, you're on the third floor. This is this way to the white dock. I'm not certain what we're going to do with this room. It's extra really for right now. And anyway, that is a tour of our base. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will probably put up a copy of this base in the workshop for sale. And thanks for watching.